Hello. It's me, Emily, and I brought a couple of my friends because I wanted to, because they know me really well. And I wanted them to ask me questions about inner clarity system because they know me so well, and I know that they're going to ask the tough questions. They're going to ask the questions that I wouldn't have even thought of. So I have with me today Justin Giebler. Hi, Justin.
Hello.
And Raymond Nazone and Thomas Clark. And we are missing one of our pieces, Joe Zumbo, but with all of us, we are Meat Mosaic. And you can find us on Instagram at Meat Mosaic, or you can find them on their individual Instagrams as well.
And Meat Mosaic on YouTube.
And Meat Mosaic on YouTube, yes. And we have just been on this journey together for almost 2 years now. November
Has
of
it been that long?
November of
next
2019.
month.
November next month. That's right. It'll be our 2 years. That's awesome.
Yeah. So we've been navigating, talking about eating meat. And we all have really interesting stories with that. But anyway, so how should we do this? Do you want to just ask me questions, or do you want me to
First
tell you a
question
preface?
First question is, you said you invited a couple of friends. So which two are the friends and which one's not?
A few friends, all of my friends. You guys are all my friends.
Okay.
So why don't you tell us about the special event as to why we're guests on your channel today?
Yes.
Okay, well, as you know, I always did my coaching in 30-minute segments. And it was just 30 minutes. And I did the best I could. And I would pour into my clients and tell them everything that we have learned over 2 years, 2.5 years of eating this way. And a lot of it that I've learned from you guys and other people in the carnivore community. And then they would go and they'd have this false sense of security, and they would be like, I got it, I'm ready. And then they would go and they would fall flat on their face. And so I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like, what is wrong? And so it became kind of unethical to me, to have these little 30-minute sessions where, I wasn't able to fully support people on this journey, because it's this huge journey. We know it's not 30 minutes. It's not a one-time thing. And so I created and wrote a system, an 8-week system it takes people step by step through the transition phase, through what to expect, through what to expect in your thoughts, and in your mindset. And I made it strategic, where like week 2 builds on week 1 and week 3 builds on week 2. And then at the very end, the last week, I teach them more about how to function as a well person. Because a lot of times, we don't know. We don't have a skill set. All we know is being sick. All we know is being ill, mentally and physically. And it's different to navigate that as a well person. So I set up the system. And the system also includes, each week I send out 5 parts. And this isn't rocket science. This is just me literally writing out on a Word document, and I email it to them, these 5 different parts at the beginning of each week. And they can choose. They can go through all 5 parts in one day, or they can do it like a daily thing, and they can do 1 part a day. But at the end of every part is a response. So they have to respond to me. They have to email me. So we have to stay connected every day. And they have to email me and let me know what their response is to what I wrote, where their mind is, what they're thinking. And then I respond to them, and I can speak into where they're at. And that's kind of where it comes in with the therapy a little bit. Cause I have my master's in clinical counseling, but I recognize that this isn't therapy that I'm doing. But I rest on my background in mental health to really navigate for them pitfalls that I see in their thinking, that can help them as they go forward. Also in the inner clarity system for the 8 weeks, I have 4 one-on-ones with them. And
Okay.
in those one-on-ones, it is an hour and a half Zoom where it's just me and them. And it's like an intensive. It's like just focused on them. And we just really go deep into, why are you self-sabotaging? What's going on with your mindset? What are you doing well at? What's going good? What can we, monopolize on through this thought process, through this whole process? And then so they get 4 of those, and they can just use them as they want throughout the 8 weeks. And then I have a live Q&A every week. So they can come and meet with me for an hour every week to ask me any questions through, that has to do with mindset or carnivore. And I also even have keto. I have some people who incorporate white rice. And the whole point of inner clarity system is that at the foundation, they are listening to themselves. They're not listening to me. They're not listening to whatever podcast that they're, watching. They're following their inner clarity, their inner being, and what they are being led to do. They're following their gut. And then I just hold that space for them. I just kind of, coach them to stay connected to what they're hearing, what they think they should do. So clear as mud.
No, so that Q&A, is that a group held Q&A?
Yes.
And that's once a week, right?
Once a week. And I allow the members to email me questions if they can't make it, because I have a lot of I have 2 clients in Sweden. I have 1 in Canada, 1 in Texas, some in California. So we're all in different time zones. And then I have my own time zone that I have to, manage as far as my schedule. So what I do is I record it and then I email that out to the members.
The live Q&A. Okay. Right. So you have it. What day is the live Q&A typically?
It's different every day, or it's different every week.
Different every week. But you announce it early on
beginning.
so people
I announce it at Sunday of every week.
Okay, got it. I see. Cool. Wow. So now on the email, they can do unlimited email to you, or how does that
Unlimited for 8 weeks. Yep.
work? Okay. Great.
Unlimited. And I usually can get back within a day. Sometimes if I'm really, busy with other stuff, it's 2 days. But I always get back to them, and I always, it's never just like, yeah, cool. It's a paragraph. It's me really, getting into the nitty gritty of what they're really wanting to. It's never just a pat answer. It's never just a little bit. It's intensive. It's really me giving my all.
Right. Is there any other form of communication that you use?
The Zoom, whenever I do the one-on-ones, and the live Q&A.
Okay. And email. Okay. Got it. So those are your...
And also, I forgot to tell you this. I have a Facebook group that is just the members of Inner Clarity System.
Okay.
And that way they can, talk to each other, post whatever. It's really small. I've got 10 people right now. So that's kind of cool because it's so intimate and it's so just us, and they know that anybody else who's in this space, came to this space from a pretty dark place, from, needing help, and wanting help. It's not somebody who's just like, I wanted to lose 5 pounds.
Right. So is it something that they all start together and finish together for that 8 weeks, or is it like people come in and out and stuff like that? How's that work?
No, everybody is on their own plan, their own system. What I do is the whole first week, and it's kind of funny because type A people get pissed off with me whenever they first start the program, because they're like, okay, it's day one, let's go. And I'm like,
Right.
no. The whole first week is we meet one-on-one, and I sit down with them and I ask them, what is your body telling you that is the best for you to eat?
Right.
And what is it telling you is not? And then I hold them accountable to what they set as their plan at that beginning week.
Okay.
And everybody is on a different plan.
Got it.
So let me ask you real quick. How is the best way for people to contact you about this? Or do you have a web page or whatever that people could look at? Or
I don't. That will be definitely something that I want to do in the future. But right now,
how'd you get all your clients?
they email me at innerclaritysystem@gmail.com.
Oh, okay.
Most of them have found me through Instagram, or they have found me through Facebook. And they just send me a message, and then I direct them to my email. And then that's whenever I set up a clarity call. And a clarity call is the very first step. And that is similar to what I was doing before with the 30 minutes. It usually turns into an hour. And so I take whoever wants to look into what it's like to work with me. And I have them fill out a form. It's kind of like an application where I see where they're at. I see what they're needing so that I can make sure that I best meet their needs. For the clarity call, it's $30. So I stuck with that model, that, to talk to me about this and for us to really find out, because I don't know if I can help someone until I talk to them, so
Right, for sure.
I don't want to just randomly go sign somebody up and go, yeah, I really can't help you.
Right.
So could you tell me if you could describe, is there a specific niche that's sort of your pilot house, bailiwick, wheelhouse?
So far it's been a little bit varied. I've had people come to me with eating disorders, mental illness, as far as depression, anxiety, and autoimmune disease.
So that's like all three of us.
Yeah.
Right.
Just one of us is all three of us, all three of them.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is very varied in the people, but the whole point is that most of the people that came to me couldn't stick to what they knew to do. It's like they knew what to do, but they just needed somebody to hold them accountable to what they know to do. And to not be more noise. It wasn't me going, well, I think you should blah, blah, blah. And I think you should, no, what are you hearing?
That's definitely not Emily.
Right, for sure.
Because I think everybody does. They have their own voice. They have their own knower. And they just need to stop and listen to themselves.
So 8 weeks is typically enough to get down to the nitty gritty about why people sabotage themselves.
Yes, I have found that. And it has been amazing because it's so intensive, because it's not just me in a group meeting or me just giving little, pat answers. I really dive in. And I think this was the best model for me because me, I don't do anything halfway.
Right. No, I totally get it. I mean, a lot of coaches, you hire them half hour at a time, let's say, and hopefully it's once or twice a week for a month, 2 months, something like that. It makes a lot more sense to structure things around like 8 weeks.
And I knew that I would pour into everything, I mean, I go all out. and I only work with 5 people at a time.
Got it.
I only work
So-
with 5 people at a time.
Are you finding yourself doing more mental, more headspace stuff, or more diet stuff? And then it sounds like the people that are coming to you are kind of already familiar with carnivore or keto or low carb, or do you got some people that are standard American or standard Western and they want to start carnivore, they want to start keto, and they don't know how, and they're having, relational issues, those mental blocks and things like that. So you just speak on that a bit, possibly.
Yeah, the system is designed to take somebody from the standard American diet into carnivore, keto, low carb. But it is the people that have come to me so far have already been in that space, already been trying and failing at that. But I have noticed that the conversations that I have when I have the one-on-ones with them, they feel a lot more like a therapy session. Yes, we talk about food, but what comes to the surface as they begin to heal is more of their emotions, and more of their troubleshooting their mental health, troubleshooting. Okay, why do I keep having this trauma response, or why do I keep having this? And so we're able to navigate that a little bit more intensely than I could if I was just doing a 30-minute, coaching session.
Right.
So is
Now,
there a
do
couch
they-
or a chase lounge involved?
They can.
I know you send them a form. So are they kind of amazed or happy or ecstatic or maybe upset that you're putting connections between diet, mental health, their schema or their way of looking at the world or at themselves, making those connections? And what kind of reactions do you get if you're able to make that, which I'm guessing you are, making those connections, because everyone has it, but not everyone can put those two wires together and bind them to where a person can kind of gets that eureka or aha, which I'm guessing is what you're looking for.
Yeah. Thankfully, it has been across the board. They're just amazed. And they just can't believe how good they feel. And they can't believe how connected food is to their mental health. And they're amazed. So I also, I have to preface this, another reason why I do the application, and why I do the clarity call first. The clarity call is almost like me interviewing them. Because if somebody comes at me with a negative viewpoint, I will not work with them. I can't. Maybe somebody else would be a good coach for them. But if they come at me and they're just like, this is stupid, this isn't going to work, this is blah, blah, there's no correlation between mental health and your eating, and okay, next. Like I just really
Thanks for the 30, peace out.
Right.
Like I don't have anything to offer you, because that's what my entire system is about. Is the mindset and that mental health connection with removing, sugar and carbs. So removing sugar and carbs is definitely important.
Really?
So are you getting, like, I'm guessing these people, some of your clients have like families, right? And so are you having to do some, I don't want to call it family therapy, but just relational things, them navigating, because one of the biggest struggles, right, if not the biggest struggle of carnivore or keto or low carb, is the social aspect, right? And so, be like their favorite cereal, their kid loves it and they can't have it anymore. And, maybe a mother and
Celery addiction.
Maybe a mother and a son, their only time together was, 6 a.m. He had to get ready for school. She was getting ready for work. And they both would do a bowl of cinnamon toast crunch. You know what I mean?
Doable.
Of
Of course you'd say that.
Are you finding things like that, or able to navigate through things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because especially with moms, I think that their initial reaction is, okay, I'm feeling so good. I want to share this with my husband. I want to share this with my kids. I want to, and I stop them in their tracks and I tell them, stop for 8 weeks. Focus on you. Focus on you. Do not try and save anybody else, because you're not in the position to save anybody else right now. You have to focus on yourself. And that's the whole point of inner clarity system, is that they focus on themselves, that they find their voice. And then once they get to the end of that, they've really worked those muscles and they really are stable. So if you do it in week 1 or week 2, you're not stable enough to hold the whole family together. You have to really, walk that path and get through that process to where you're where you're supposed to be on your path. Then you can slowly help the others around you. And then also in social settings, I also encourage them to let them know the reality of it is that it really doesn't matter what other people think, because you're going to fall apart. If you continue eating sugar and carbs, you're going to fall apart and you're going to be the talk of the town anyway.
Well, and you kind of been hitting it on the head with the age-old question of, hey, why would somebody hire a carnivore coach? Don't you just need to eat meat? Isn't that all there is to it, right? But now you've done a good job of exposing some of the rather complicated issues people experience, why they have a hard time adhering, right? And that's really in the beginning. It's like adherence is, you got to get in the habit of doing it, right? You got to really establish that pattern, right? And like you said, trying to help other people in your family is just as bad as, oh, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a day, every day from now on, and then I'm going to start fasting immediately, and I'm going to do yoga, and I'm going to do Pilates, and and I'm going to take all these supplements because I need them. Right. And then in the end, you got to be compliant, first, and you got to establish that habit. Right.
And they almost need that extra little voice in their head to say, just stop. Just let's make this as simple as possible. Let's make this as simple as possible so that you can comply, because compliance is the goal, So if you come out of the gate doing, like you said, all of those things, then you more than likely you're gonna crash and burn. You're gonna fall flat on your face. And so I think that's what wasn't working with the model of 30 minutes is people were getting that false sense of security, going, yeah, I got this. I'm ready. I'm gonna go. I'm like motivated.
Wind them up.
Yeah. And this way it's more of a stable progression to have it for 8 weeks. And the commitment is really important. So if somebody's not willing to commit to work with me for 8 weeks, that's okay. You're just not my client. You're just not my audience. There's tons of other coaches out there that will coach you for 30 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, it's something I always tell my clients is like, okay, yes, you can do everything, but you can't do everything all at the same time. You have to, I always tell my clients, they have to build their hierarchy of value, what's most valuable to them. And then we work, through there and from there. But yeah, I think
I agree.
Like you're totally hitting it. Now, one thing I want to ask is doing a double scoop, Joe Biden style, is that allowed? Doing the 8 weeks and then signing up for another 8 weeks, just because I come from the addiction background, from working in rehab centers, and recidivism is a huge thing, right? And so, someone's first DUI, they get sent to an outpatient treatment. They do the program, but they're kind of like, oh, court's making me do this. I'm not really, no. And then, they complete it, right? They get their little certificate, they think they're cool, they get their kid back or whatever, and within 6 months they're getting another DUI, and then they're back in. And then they're like, okay, this time I'm going to take it more seriously. So are they allowed, and maybe it's just not your clientele, but is it allowed to do it back to back and end up with 16 weeks with you if they paid and all that stuff again?
I haven't come up against that, but I would be absolutely open to that, because I think that we would be able to go even deeper. And I would be really interested in that, in having another 8 weeks with them. Especially the connections that I've made already with the clients that I have worked with. They have become friends. They have become, because it's so intimate. I mean, it's so intimate. The things that we talk about really the good, the bad, and the ugly. We talk about the really.
You talk about movies?
we talk about, their darkest stuff. It is kind of like therapy. Like we really talk about some really dark stuff. And so I, of course, love a good story. And so I want to see the next chapter. I want to be part of that. So I haven't had that happen, but I am absolutely open to that. And I would be willing. I haven't come up with a package of what that would look like. If it would just be a repeat of the same, thing. So I would have to write a different 8 weeks, like an extended version. That's a good idea, Justin. I like that.
That's what you're doing tomorrow, I guess.
There we go.
Well, I think I've heard enough. I'm willing to throw 10,000 at this at 15%.
All right. Thank you,
that's
Shark
the
Tank.
first bid.
Thank you, Shark Tank. Any other questions, guys?
No, I mean, how long did it take you to come up with this?
8 weeks. I wrote a week at a time.
Oh, from its inception, but I mean, you had quite a bit of experience building before that, right? I mean, you were just doing general carnivore coaching and.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been doing carnivore coaching for 2 years now. Started out on MeatRx with you guys.
I think I heard of that place.
Went
Which
through
is now Rivero.
Vaguely. Right,
Rivero.
Rivero.
went through Sean Baker's
That overgrown doctor with the monkey arms. What's his name?
went through his training.
Yeah.
And then went out on my own. And we've had tons of interviews and conversations, tons of experience with carnivore coaching, and it progressed into this. And then also, like I said, with my therapy, with what I've done for the past, I guess I graduated with my master's in 2014. So it's all coming together into this beautiful mosaic. And it's been a cool process, and I am loving it. Like, I just absolutely love my job. Love it. I love
Well, we're all
helping
happy
people.
for you, Em.
Yeah,
And
really.
You've become quite the example on how to do things, for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And thank you for all that you guys have taught me. I cannot express to you how each one of you have been such an integral part of my journey.
Well, likewise, Em. It's been great being friends with you the last couple of years. And I know I don't want to get all teary-eyed, but it was kind of life-changing meeting you guys and getting to know. And it's just like you're saying with your clients, it's the friendship extended beyond the screen. We know all kinds of things about what's going on in each other's lives, and we get good advice and good ideas and support, and sometimes some well-needed criticism from each other.
Absolutely. And that's why I had you guys, talk to me about this, because I was like, you guys are going to ask me the questions that I needed to be asked, like, what is this 8 weeks? What Like, you just eat meat. Why do I need a coach?
Exactly. Right.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And if anybody does want a clarity call and wants to know what it looks like to work with me, just email me at innerclaritysystem@gmail.com and we'll go from there.
You heard it, folks. Emily's the real deal.
Awesome, Emily.
Thanks for having us part of this.
Yes. Thank you for having us.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.